I'm speaking with Lee Abraham, who's the co-author of the new book called Money on the Table. Good morning, Lee.
Good morning.
Lee, tell us what's so good about Money on the Table?
Well, it's good when it's a referral in the bank. We want to help you identify money that you're leaving on the table and convert that into money-making referrals. So everybody has money on the table that we need to help them find and convert into something they can deposit into the bank.
Excellent. So can you tell us, give us a little bit of background about how you got involved in authoring a book such as Money on the Table and why you are now considered the expert on power teams?
Well, I've been involved with the world's largest networking organization known as BNI, Business Network International, for approximately 20 years. My professional background is in the real estate industry, where I did real estate appraisals for many years. And the skill set that I used to become an expert in real estate valuation served me well in identifying different patterns of systematic referrals that are generated in a structured networking setting. So by virtue of my skill set as a real estate appraiser applied to the years of experience as a firsthand referral word-of-mouth networker, I was in kind of a unique position to identify these patterns that lead to a large number of referrals for a wide variety of businesses. So it was just a combination of my experience in the business world as an analyst and my experience in BNI as a networker, as a chapter president in various capacities with BNI. I live in a small town in northern Arizona. And so when we started BNI up there, Prescott, Arizona, I began to develop different training systems for our local group. And we were having tremendous success with the programs that we developed. And so the book came about as the result of me contacting Dr. Ivan Meisner, who's the founder of BNI. I showed him the systems that I was working with. And I was very thrilled that he liked what I was doing and, in fact, agreed to be my co-author on the book. And so that's kind of a short version of a long story.
That must have been an incredibly great thing to feel justified that what you were doing was not only right on the money, but was putting money on the table.
Absolutely. My wife and I talked for weeks ahead of the meeting with Dr. Meisner, just visualizing what it might be like. And I'll never forget the moment where Dr. Meisner and I sat down for the first time face-to-face like you and I are today. And I explained to him the basis of the book, which basically simplifies target markets and helps people identify and describe their target market very easily. And when I got done with my 15-minute presentation, I asked him, I said, Dr. Meisner, am I taking other people's material and putting a different spin on it, or is this something you're seeing for the first time? And he said, no, you know what, Lee, I think we've got something new here. And his exact phrase was, color me interested. I'm interested. I'd like to work with you on this.
Well, that's fantastic. What are the top 3 things that someone should know in order to be successful at using the concepts in this book?
Well, the first thing is that we want to start you with one person who you're going to generate referrals for, and that's called your bragging buddy. So when we're looking at power team networking in a structured environment, one of the things that we find is that they start out as too large of a group, doing too many things too quickly. So the first thing is, let's focus on generating business for one networking partner. Let's make that work. Then we can build from there. So the first thing would be find one, no more than 2 networking partners to work with. The second key element that I would recommend is that you involve your networking partner in something we call systematic visibility, where there are certain referral generation strategies that we make very simple to implement. And so we take the guesswork out of referrals. So the second thing would be, let's not have creating referrals be an abstract concept. Let's go beyond making a mutual commitment to generate referrals for each other. Let's implement the specific strategies that we give you in the book and in the Power Team Certified Training Program. The third thing that I would recommend is that you align yourself with a larger networking organization such as BNI. When you're doing a power team, you should start small, as I said, with 1 or 2 people, but you bring much more value to your consumers, to your database, by being part of a larger network who give you a vast array of products and services that are relevant to your target market, and create referrals for those folks as well, because when you create an abundance of referrals, you'll receive an abundance of referrals in return.
How long does it take to become really proficient at referral partnering?
Well, the key is in the Power Team Certified Training Program, which came out after the Money on the Table book. We break down the development of power teams into 4 stages. And so the first stage is what we call boot camp, where we help you learn to articulate your differentiated value in a way that's easy to remember and repeat. We want your bragging buddies to give compelling testimonials for you. So we want to help them be able to articulate your differentiated value. The second part of boot camp is helping people describe their target market in a way that's easy to recognize. We want our networking partners to be able to see who we're looking for and then be able to give that testimonial. That can happen within 2 meetings, and that's the boot camp. Once we get into advanced power team networking, it's a process that can last years. It's just a matter of evolving through multiple stages.
Do you think that your methods, as outlined in the book, will work for anyone in any area?
Well, I do think that the vast majority, I hate to give a blanket endorsement that any business in any industry would be a candidate for word-of-mouth referrals. However, any business that is seeking referrals, regardless of what industry you're in, the system will work for you.
And how much experience would a person need in order to implement the strategies and methods involved in the book?
There's really no prerequisite that you need to bring to the table, if you will, to get started. What we do in the material is I try to make the message as universal and easy to upload, if you will, as possible. So there's really no prerequisite. If you follow the system, we can have you generating referrals for your networking partner within just a few days.
Can you provide some real-life examples of people that have followed the methods outlined in the book and what's happened?
Sure. I have a number of examples where people who are in, for example, the wedding industry. I've got a number of people from around the country and now around the world who specialize in weddings, receptions, and the like. What we're finding is that through the material in the book, they start to realize how people in other industries are relevant to people getting married. So, for example, we have one particular group that I'm thinking of where they have begun to systematically make visible the security system contractor. People getting married want to protect their new spouse. You wouldn't normally think of a referral for a security system contractor when you're talking to people getting married. But when the group of businesses that drive these life cycle events, which I'm sure we'll talk about, in the book we kind of simplify target markets by connecting them to common life cycle events like people getting married and others. Once we open their eyes to the fact that they have the same target market, even though they're in a different industry, that's the money on the table. These referral relationships that are laying dormant. And so the wedding industry, security system contractor is a terrific example. I've got many others of business categories from different industries working together and being very excited and surprised at how much commonality they have with these businesses that on the surface appear to have nothing to do with their business.
It's like the, I guess, the thinking out of the square for what's a great referral for a financial planner, and it might in fact be a tailor who deals with high income, high net worth individuals.
You got that right.
And you're thinking outside the box.
Right.
So tell us a little bit about the life cycle events. It's an intriguing concept.
Yeah, so over the years participating in structured networking, I observed different patterns of referrals that generate business for a wide variety of the members of the networking group. And so the 6 key situations that we're working with Money on the Table begin with people getting married, people having babies, people building a business, people getting well, people building a home or remodeling real estate, and people relocating. So when you take a look at structured networking, the vast majority, over 95% of all referrals ultimately tie back to one of those life cycle events.
Okay. Well, that's a succinct explanation, because I think there was a few people that probably don't really understand how that would tie in with referral work. But, when you think about it, everything is a referral, isn't it?
Everything creates the opportunity for a referral.
Yeah.
So what we try to do is simplify the notion of recognizing each other's target market.
Okay.
And so by saying your business can be driven by people getting married opens people's eyes, particularly if they have nothing to do with weddings. Same thing with new babies. There's nothing more powerful for lifestyle changes and motivating people to do things differently when a baby comes into the home. So anything from contracting work around the home to make it suitable for the baby, the financial services to plan for the future, the health and wellness group to be proactive with the baby's wellness. Each of these different industries bring relevant value to people going through these life cycle events, and that's really the magic. And I've had so many wonderful experiences sitting in a room of people who've known each other for years, have never passed referrals to each other because they can't see how to do it. And once we start showing them what we call systematic visibility and making each other 100% relevant, the energy literally crackles in the room, and it's amazing.
If you had one secret to give about getting money on the table, what would it be? And bearing in mind it's not going to be a secret after this.
Yeah, the world's best known marketing secret.
Yeah.
It's word of mouth. It's really about having an authentic interest in your networking partner. That is the secret. You can't get involved with networking, whether it's a structured networking group or networking on your own as what I call a free agent. You can't just show up and expect to generate referrals. It's about people. And if you're not a people person, you're not going to optimize your opportunity for referrals. So focus on the relationships of people who know you, like you, and trust you, and then help them become your bragging buddy so that the people they talk to will want to do business with you.
Okay, so what are some of the common problems that people might experience in the realm of getting money on the table?
Well, what I find traditionally is that when business people get together and they try to organize, they organize based on their business category. And when people limit their organization or their power team to similar businesses in the same industry, it's very limiting. And in the structure of a larger networking group like BNI, they can become exclusive and elite, which is counterproductive. So the key point is helping people see how these other businesses are relevant to their target market, and then be leaders. Give in abundance and you'll receive in abundance, and that's the philosophy that we take here.
Okay. So some people might think that after listening to you that it sounds very, very easy to do all of this. Is there a catch?
Well, I don't know that there's a catch per se. I think that it's human nature to skip over things. I think that it's human nature to want to reinvent the wheel in a lot of cases. I would say that the only catch is not following the system.
Okay. And what sort of things can people do to stay on top in regards of getting money on the table?
Well, it's an ongoing process. And so in the Money on the Table system, we have a series of meeting agendas. And so we have agendas for the first time, second time you're getting together with somebody, but then we have ongoing agendas. So if you're working the program, you're going to have ongoing meetings with one or two of your bragging buddies weekly. Then in addition, your larger group, your power team, is going to meet at least once a month, maybe every 2 weeks. So we have ongoing agendas that have fresh material that keeps each of those ongoing meetings vibrant and meaningful as you go forward, so the relationship doesn't become stale. I'll give you an example. If you're part of a structured networking group, you're trained to educate the group on what a good referral is for you. The worst thing that you can do is ask for the same thing every week. You want to be able to alternate not only how you're describing your target market, but how you're educating your power team partners to recognize audio and visual cues that will tip them off that they're talking to someone who's in your target market. In addition, we have a number of referral generation strategies that have to do with who are your current clients, Who are your upcoming clients? Things that move through time and change. And so the key is having ongoing communication with your bragging buddies, the people who you're really building deep relationships with, and then ongoing meetings with the larger network so that you can continue to develop new relationships.
Okay, now just very quickly, Power Team Certified, it's a course derived from the book, Money on the Table.
Yeah.
What's the value of it?
Okay. Well, Money on the Table was completed about 2 years ago. We launched it back in May at the BNI National Conference in Providence, Rhode Island. But the book was completed 2 years ago. What happened at the time the book was completed is I switched gears from my career in real estate sales and appraisal to being a consultant to the real estate industry, helping brokers and agents make more money through word-of-mouth referrals. Many of those people have never been involved in structured networking. So I developed tools and systems for independent business people who don't have the benefit of the cultural memory of an organization like BNI, don't have the structure of that type of organization. And so what we've done is we've created a program. It's a 16-lesson plan program. It includes 29 recorded webinars where I do point-by-point 4 to 20-minute presentations. It's a PowerPoint with my audio. Specifically, I'm your consultant. I'm talking to you firsthand of what you can do to build your own power team. So it's designed for individual networkers, but also operating within the context of a larger network.
Okay, fantastic. Where can people find out more information about Money on the Table?
The best place is the website, which is moneyonthetablebook.com.
Okay, and how can people go about contacting you directly?
Well, I can be reached on Skype. My Skype is lee.abraham1. My email is abe, A-B-E, at moneyonthetablebook.com.
Fantastic. Lee Abraham, thank you for taking the time to explain Money on the Table and the Power Team Certified program, and I thank you for your time doing this interview.
My pleasure. Thank you, Dan.